And if you don't, I don't want to say anything offensive. So today we're going to play Blue-White Approach. Yesterday we tried Blue-White Drakes, so I'm like playing Blue-White Approach back to back because, right after it, because I think it's a fairly similar deck, and I figured since the other deck was fresh on our mind, we'd get a few reps in with this deck. Also played the Drake's off stream some while I was like playing board games and stuff with my friends, and it performed very similar to it did on stream. I still think it's probably a little better of an approach, but I've been playing approach in paper, and because I love my beta lands, and it's actually went very well. So the big thing about what we're trying right now is we've cut 2 of the Supreme Wheels for 2 disallows, so we're a little bit more controlling in the main deck. It is a little bit better in the mirror type matches and versus like Drakes and stuff like that, while still being fine versus Temur and things of that nature. We were down 1 after Meltdown, and I don't know if I'm going to like that. Like, I still think we have a big problem with the mono red decks, but at this point I think I'm almost willing to just lose to the mono red decks, which means these authorities might be the next things that get cut out of my sideboard. I really feel like I need to go up to like a 4th authority and maybe some Sunscourge champions and maybe impeccable, I think it's called impeccable timing, the thing that does 3 damage. I have to do something to fix the mono red match, because we tried 4 cats, we tried 4 authorities, we tried 4 cats, 4 authorities, 3 champions. Just none of these sideboard plans have been working, and that's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, which is the one reason that we leave this deck on the shelf so often. But hopefully, with the addition of Essence Scatters, that maybe we can get through it. The bindings have been really good. Sorcerer's Spyglass overperformed with the Drake deck, but the Drake deck's obviously a bit different. Also, wouldn't mind the 4th negate. We traded the Kefnet from the sideboard for Search for Azcanta because I just believe that Search for Azcanta is the best thing you can do in the mirror, and I want something that can come down before counter spells. I mean, sure, if you're on the draw, this can get negated or censored, but like, it's kind of hard for well, if you're on the play and you draw it, they just can't stop it. But, sans cast out or bindings or whatever. But anyway, so this is the list we're going to run today. Hey George, what's up, man? My Christmas was very good. I hope yours was as well. Did you get anything sweet? Did your family have a nice dinner? I mean, did you just hang out in your apartment? Like, what'd you get into Christmas wise? I spent the majority of my Christmas morning playing Hero Quest. It's a board game that we've started trying on Tabletop Simulator, and then after that, woke up, took a nap, woke up, had some dinner with the family. My mom's sister and her daughter and her daughter's daughters all came. My aunt came with her kids, so it was a pretty packed house. It was pretty fun. Some nice food, and then I watched. Well, I was watching the 76ers and Knicks game during that time, and then I watched the Cavs lose to Golden State, and it really aggravated me because I believed that Kevin Durant should have got ejected in the first quarter, and he did not. But I understand that like they don't want to do that to stars and stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like they should call the games fair. But maybe I'm just being salty because my team lost. What kind of job are you looking for? Oh, cool. That's still up from yesterday. Oh, we got paired versus the old 1 and 2 while we're 0 and 0. Nice matchmaking. I believe I will keep this on the draw. This card is powerful enough that I think it's worth the gamble. We have 2 draw steps to try to hit it. And if we don't hit it, the land into 2 draw steps, we at least have 2 different things that we can cycle to try to get our second land on turn 2 regardless. So we have 3 draw steps to try to get our land on turn 2, and 2 draw steps that let us play the Search for Azcanta on turn 2. Alright, nice. I hope you get it, man. So we hit the land immediately and we feel great. This looks like the color of... is this Grixis Control? Could be paired versus Grixis Control right now. The current plan is to potentially be at Hobgoblin, or sorry, Cavalier Comics, because page 3 is not having one. But that is the current plan. I guess I'll just keep that and put it in our hand. This is looking like a control match, so we're probably going to be cycling at least this and trying to cast out that, and probably going very long. One thing about this list that's probably very, very wrong. The current list we have, there's only 3 Rivulets in it. There should be probably a 4th Rivulet, but I was a little afraid of putting a 4th Rivulet in the deck when I had moved up to 2 Disallows to the main deck. I mean, you looked through my binder, I didn't have anything you wanted, remember? I actually think I'm going to hold this, because I think trying to cast out that is definitely worth it. Essence Scatter's probably good enough to go to the graveyard. Just gonna go ahead and throw the cast out at this during his upkeep. There's a good chance that he has a counterspell on it, but actually I'm not. I think I'm gonna wait. There's a good chance that he like casts Glimmer or something at the end of our turn. And I'll probably try to cast out it then. If not, I will use it during his next upkeep. Fumigate definitely to our graveyard. We already have 2 in our hand. Now, I don't really have much else. That's pretty much all the man has. Yeah, well, no Glimmer. Oh. Okay. Cycle. So we're definitely going to try to cast it now since he can flip it during his upkeep regardless. May have main deck negates, may not. Not sure. We're soon to potentially find out. Alright, so... well, we dealt with his first problem, but now he has up to 6 mana and a free turn to do whatever the man feels like. Island to the graveyard? I think so. We want to start getting the Search for Azcanta to flip. I kind of just want to slam a Fumigate. Like, I am very tempted to just play a Fumigate to get a card in my graveyard, but that's probably too aggressive. We don't really know what his kill condition is yet. It may just be things like Torrential Gearhulk. It's probably like a Scarab and a Gearhulk, hopefully not a Nicobolus. If it's just a Scarab and a Gearhulk, I don't think we'll have a lot of trouble here, but we could, depending upon how many counterspells they have. Yeah, I think I'll put a Plains in our graveyard. And I'm just gonna slam Approach next turn. Like, don't care if he counterspells it. Certainly don't want either of those, really. Kinda don't want to put that in our graveyard in case he draws another search. I also don't want to put it in my hand, so it's kind of like super awkward. Alright, well there's step one. And there's the first disallow. Now we have 2 disallows and 1 torrential gearhook in our main deck. But it's still going to be pretty hard to resolve that. And without our 4th Rivulet, I think it's going to be very hard to even Millville them. But we got to keep fighting the fight. We got to keep a good eye on both of the libraries, because Rivulet may be our kill condition here. Really wish we had the 4th Rivulet. They have to tap some mana to kill us at some point, though. It's going to have to be something, okay, considerably better than just Gearhooks. I don't think Gearhooks alone will do it. It's going to take like Scarab or Walker or something. Alright, well, let's start with this. We don't want that, we do want that. Well, I guess we'll take one of them. So no, it's 3 cards from the bottom. That's something to keep track of. It's always worth like keeping notes on stuff like that as well. So like, you don't have to remember every little land that falls. What I like to do and what I do in paper tournaments is I do something like this. I put the relevant card, then I put like so we know there's 2 lands, so we just put 2 junk cards there. But I keep track of it down like that, and I would do that in a paper tournament as well. Hey, Neo Ganser. Thank you for the follow, man. So we gotta discard 1 card here. We'll just go ahead and get rid of a Meltdown. We already have the first Field of Runes, which we're probably going to be shuffling, so keeping track of notes is pretty irrelevant, but who knows. Again, we have to keep track of the cards. We don't want to get too far ahead of him. If one of those lands had been a Rivulet, kind of like this one, I would write that down on the note as well. Could have probably left a Gideon in the deck. There's no real reason to get the Gideon. He's going to have a Vraska's Contempt of some kind anyway, so like I don't even know if I would cast it. And yeah, I'm just not going to cast it even. So there's probably no reason to take that card. Screw it. I guess I'll cast it. It's better than throwing it away. I think we'll dump one of these Fumigates, but we don't want to dump them all because, again, I still don't really know what his kill condition is. I like how I didn't even use the Gideon, by the way. I'm so sure he's going to kill the Gideon, I didn't even bother to use it. Like, I should have left it in the deck. It was wrong to take it with the Azcanta, especially if I think Rivulet might actually be our kill condition. Which I actually do think Rivulet has a good chance of being our kill condition. So I think that was a pretty large mistake by me. Well, maybe not a large mistake, but it was definitely a mistake. How about that? So whatever this card is, he wants it. He wants it. We're getting buried in lands here, which is kind of sad, especially since we're drawing so many more cards than them. We'll take the disallow, and then that's 3 cards that I don't care about. I guess we'll put an opt in our graveyard. And drawing it's probably better than putting it in our graveyard because it gives us an extra scry. We don't start drawing some lands here, like we're slowly discarding every card that we care about. I'll put that on bottom. Hit a land finally. I guess we'll discard one settle. Is the volume and everything okay? Because I am using a new headset. So he chose to actually keep that this time. Which is kind of interesting. Not 100% sure what that means. Oh, he just drew another search. Sure. Let's start with this because we know we don't want the cards from the bottom of our deck. I think I'll take it. Doesn't matter. Don't have to keep track of those cards anymore because we're getting ready to shuffle them. Could disallow this trigger? Please? Please disallow this trigger? It's pretty unlikely that they would. Anyway, I play really slow in real life, so in real life I don't have enough time to write down every card, so I just make notes like this again. Oh, they did disallow it. It's kind of interesting. So that's a second disallow going. So I did go ahead and write that down. We know there's a Gear Hulk and then 2 dead cards below the Gear Hulk. I guess we'll keep the cast out. Again, I'm probably Scarabs and Gear Hulks are probably his best way to win. So he knows we have these 2 cards still. After Meltdown, definitely to the graveyard, definitely not flipping. Draw a card, not a land. Well, that's a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I'd be discarding this anyway, so let's just go ahead and cycle it. Alright, so we hit a land, and now I'm not actually sure what the correct discard here is. Kinda just want to discard the Glimmer. Probably am just going to discard the Glimmer. We've actually drawn every card that matters in our deck at this point, except for additional rivulets. So like we don't have any cards that matter. Alright, well we wish we had our Gear Hulk back. Or sorry, not our Gear Hulk, our cast out. Go ahead and pop this over here too. So we have one additional cast out in our deck somewhere. I don't think I'm worried about trying to stop that. I mean, 26 turns probably can kill us, but... So we're just going to go ahead and use this on it. The heck were you? Oh yeah, you're the Gideon that got Veraskid. So he doesn't have that anymore. So he might be getting some kind of counterspell war here, and he's only got 6 mana left. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3. I'm actually gonna throw our own disallow at this. And I will try to resolve one of our approaches next turn. That's the third disallow he's used, so... If we hit a land, we can pay for one sensor, but he could have Supreme Wills and stuff as well. So, we're going to keep a land if it's on top. Putting most other things in the graveyard. This is probably our best turn to play this. He has to use a Gear Hulk here. We have an Essence Scatter, Supreme Will, and a Disallow. Alright, so moving into the sideboard, we don't really know what his kill conditions are. The only thing we saw was the Dynavolt Tower and the Gear Hulks. Clearly he has to have more than that, I believe. So the easy cards to know we want is basically when we want most of our blue suite. It's really hard for them to deal with cards like this, so I always like bringing in cards like this. Now, the interesting thing is, if he has Scarab Gods, I don't want any of these creatures, but if he has Lost Legacies, I need some of these creatures. Excuse me, I think I just burped. We're going to try to play it without these creatures to start with. We're also going to get rid of this because of the Vraska's Contempts that he'll probably leave in. And I may even bring in the Essence Scatter because I believe we're most commonly fighting versus like some Scarab Gods and stuff. And then we're going to like shave a bunch of like our Wraths and our Meltdowns. We're definitely getting rid of both Meltdowns. We're definitely getting rid of at least one of each of these. And then we're probably getting rid of at least one more of these. Probably the Fumigate, because the Settle the Wreckage is a little bit better versus Scarab God and a little bit better versus Haste Threats. Though the Fumigate's a little bit better versus him if he's going to be bringing in like Glint Siphoners and Whirler Virtuosos and things. So a lot of it's like pretty fundamental based on like how he is going to sideboard. But we're just going to cut a Censor in, and I really hate cutting the Censor. Actually, I'm just not going to cut a Censor. I'm going to cut an Opt. I think I generally like cutting Opts before I like cutting Censors. Anyway, so I can delete my note. But anyway, like I was saying, it's always worth keeping small notes on where your relevant cards are in matches where you think you can easily go through all your relevant cards. If I wrote faster or cleaner or was a faster player, I would actually write what lands and stuff were there as well. But like, I've got a pretty good memory, so I can typically remember those things. So it's just nice to know the placeholders of the cards that may be very impactful. So we obviously hope that this is going to resolve on turn 2, because it is an important thing. Hey, Merry Christmas, Dan. Are you and your family having a good one? Have you stepped on a Lego yet? He's got a counterspell, he's got a counterspell. I'm happy to play the search into it. We have 4 different searches in our deck. And, like, waiting and playing the search on turn 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 to play around Censors just gives him chances for Supreme Wills and Disallows, and etc, etc. If we had a negate in our hand or something, we may not have did that. But since we don't have a negate, there's no downside. So like, if he just untapped, if he'd had a search, he would have played it on turn 2. And if he just untaps and plays the Dynavolt Tower, he just untaps and plays the Dynavolt Tower. Oh, nice, man! Congrats. Did you hit well? Hope you hit well. Did you get a buy box pack with it? Guess I'll give him the decision. PV wrote an article today about not letting your opponents make decisions even if they can be beneficial to you, but I don't think this is what he means. Ixalan's Binding gone. Nice, Vraska. Vraska is such a good card and really, really fun. I think I'm just going to use an Opt to begin with. We already have all of our lands, and the only cards I'd really be looking for is like Search for Azcanta at this point anyway. Certainly don't want to land. Guess I won't give him the information. I'll just go ahead and play this. Okay, fair, fair. Yeah, get a lot better price if you order them. I was just double check. I was just asking. But nice on the Vraska, man. The Vraskas are sweet. I don't feel like he has Censor in his hand, because I feel like him looking for a land's more important than stopping us from looking for a land. I'm just going to jam Glimmer. He's down to 4 cards. If he finds something that stops the Glimmer, great. But I don't put any value on the Glimmer itself. I believe I updated it. Yes, it looks like I did update it. Hey, Magic Moke. Magic Moke. I actually don't own a Vraska. As many of them as I have sold, I do not own one right now. So if opponent's mana screwed, had he played a Glimmer, I would counterspell it, but typically I don't counterspell card draws in this match. I think counterspelling card draw spells is one of the traps that most people fall into. Two's all you'll ever need. Don't care if he counterspells this either. Sure. I mean, Sultai's pretty fun. You could try Sultai. There was a sweet Sultai control deck that we got paired versus yesterday that actually impressed me a pretty decent amount. We're going to keep the binding. Took the time to duress the other binding, so I guess I'm going to keep this one. I have no idea what he's trying to protect, but we're going to find out. Now, this Sultai deck I got paired versus yesterday looked very nice. That guy never did respond to me. I'd really like to see his deck list. So he's at 5 cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump the first Supreme Will. He knows we have it anyway, so he's very likely just to play around it. That's pretty much what it was. I think he might have had a Tunes or whatever to splash for the mana, kind of like the old Temur Tower list had, but I won't even swear to that. So, like, don't care about any of those cards. And now if we put a card in our graveyard, we can guaranteed flip this. Island definitely in the graveyard. Flipperini. Actually, just going to go ahead and cast another one. You can get a lot of advantage about having a second one. The third one, not so much, but, you know, if he negates this or whatever. Yeah, Vraska and maybe the mana fixing is basically all I want out of the green. He might have had Servant, but I'm not positive. He never played any Bristling Hydras. Oh, he had Rogue Refiner as well. He did have Rogue Refiner. Of course, Rogue Refiner is great. It's a nice little early threat that has to be dealt with, that gives you energy and lets you draw cards. I love Rogue Refiner. So this is one of the reasons that I don't like counterspelling card draw spells in this match. Like, where we've done nothing for so long, even though he was mana screwed, he's popped right back up with lands and has the full 7 cards in hand. If I was going to close the game out fast, that would be a different story. Yes, he did have that. So we have 6 cards on the bottom that we don't care about at the moment. Sure, sell the wreckage to the graveyard. No, not flip that. Draw a card. Second hard counterspell. Our hand is absolutely loaded, but you can guarantee that his hand is absolutely loaded as well. So he's gonna have 2 blue mana? Kinda just want to try to untap and binding that. I think that's what I'm actually gonna try to do. Just try to get rid of it forever. Because if we hit a land with this Glimmer, we'd be able to play both this allows to protect it. Or we could hit a negate or something off the Azcanta. I mean, duress. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess I'm going to let that resolve. Yeah, I'm going to let that resolve. We can still throw cast out at it, which is good enough. Kind of ruins the plan that he's probably going to duress the binding, but yeah. So go ahead and get rid of that because he knows our entire hand. Sure. 5 to my head. One at least able to cast both counter spells whenever I do play this cast out. I'm actually going to take this negate and put the approach on the bottom. I don't care if he plays the second one. Again, there's still at least one Fumigate in our deck that we're drawing to. We know it's not in the bottom 6 cards. Well, that's kind of interesting. It's like he's tempting me to play this cast out. Alright, Fumigate to the graveyard now because I think the cast out will actually resolve. And I don't really want to put the Gearhulk in the graveyard if we can stop it from going there. Really? Yeah, I mean, I got lucky and you got mana screwed that game too, and I was able to counterspell both your Lost Legacies. That was huge for me. I don't think I'm going to get to do that very often. The deck seemed pretty cool though. I liked it. The Liliana was an interesting threat. I was just like, this card's so hard to deal with. Stop it, Daniel. I actually want to negate that. I feel like I need to negate that. Like, we're running out of gas here, and we actually don't have a whole lot more gas in our deck. I don't want to play this disallow right now because I don't want to let him cast a Gearhulk for free. Or sorry, I don't want to use my Azcanta right now is what I was trying to say. We will not put that in our graveyard, and we will not flip that. And we will try to resolve the first approach. He may counterspell this. If he does, he does. I don't think I want to protect it. Actually, we put one on the bottom of our library. I think I will protect it. I don't exactly know what he can draw here, but I think it's okay to protect this. The Scarab God seems like the best thing he can play, and I'm not super scared of the Scarab God since there's no creatures in any graveyard. I'm assuming we're going to get Scarab, though. I feel like it's hard for us not to. Or maybe even Nicobolus. It is Nicobolus. Goodbye 2 cards. So, this is what we refer to as problem. There's 3 cast outs left in our deck, but at this point there's a pretty good chance that he's going to have negates in his deck. We will not put that in the graveyard. We will not flip that. We will draw. So that's 6 cards down. That's 2 cards, so that's 4 cards down. Yeah, well, we got a pass here. I'm sure you were playing it fine. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we spend 3 flip, then pop that out, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's not enough. So how many cards go to our graveyard? 2 cards go to our graveyard. And then he gets a card, so approaches the next card down. Pretty sure we're going to lose this game now. I don't think I played this game well. It's going to be way... He's definitely going to have another counter spell. He's only used 1 disallow and 2 negates, so unless we like untap and draw exactly negate, there's very little chance that we win, I think. We did put on bottom though, so I guess that's good for us. Tower, yep, this game's going to close out quickly at this point as well. So we know when we ask Anta, the card we're going to draw is Approach. Oh wow, 2 towers. Two towers. On a positive note, with the mana he left open, I'm pretty sure if we get lucky and draw the 1 negate in the 1 draw step we get, that we'll probably take it. You're teasing me, Mo. You're teasing me. Alright, we'll take this. So we have 1 negate and 1 disallow we can draw. I don't know if we have enough mana for the disallow, actually. I didn't count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So we have 2 counter spells we can hit. And that's a censor. Definitely to the graveyard. Definitely don't flip it. We have to go ahead and cast this. Because, oh wow. We have to go ahead and cast this because of the Nicobolus can just make us basically discard it anyway. So he knew we were drawing Approach this turn. Oh, he just didn't have anything. Wow. That is some interesting play to not have anything. Alright, sometimes it's just that easy. Sometimes they just don't have another counterspell even though they've gone through 27 cards. Well, more than 27 because they've scryed some of these to the bottom, like they scryed 2 from the last one to the bottom. They were scrying most on top throughout the game, but alright, we'll take it. I really figured he'd have a counterspell there because we know he had at least 3 disallows in his main deck that we saw, and you can generally assume that they're going to be bringing in multiple negates. He could have had like Jace's Defeat, like Neo said, more counterspell or more. Shoot, can't speak. More removal spells. Alright, gonna keep this hand too. I have never mulliganed a turn 2 Search for Azcanta in my life. Not gonna start now. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, now. Now, this match is actually very hard, and we don't have white mana yet, which makes it even harder. Would love to have been on the play. He didn't play a 2-drop. If he just plays 3 1-drops, the question would be, do I save the censor? Probably not. This is a hell of a quick clock. Cool thing is, these 3 even deal 3 damage on the turn that I can play to settle. I think we're very unlikely to win this game. I don't even know if land would do it unless this, like plains probably doesn't even do it unless this hand's a blank. We'll take 6 this turn down to 12, 6 next turn down to 6, so like, and then 3 the following turn. So basically anything kills us. And we haven't even hit the land yet. Could draw like an Effer Meltdown or something and maybe get another redraw, but like we have to have the plains to even have a chance. Well, white source, I'll rephrase. And we're dead, boys. Have no out now. We're just dead. Not going to concede yet though, because I kind of want to see if we can see him play an Imminent Eternal or a Bone Picker, or you know, a key to see. Maybe we can get some information on what type of mono black deck he is, since there's a few variations. Well, we definitely have 0 outs now. It doesn't look like he's going to show us anything else. Already pressed F6. Yeah, might have been able to win this game had we hit a land. Probably not. But maybe. And we're dead. Yeah, so sideboarded games it is. Hope you're having a good holidays, by the way. No, I don't know if I said that. So we definitely want these. We definitely want these. We definitely want these. And probably want Essence Scatter. Maybe even want this. I just want everything. Always want everything. Cards that I think are too slow versus like hyper fast aggro decks. I typically take out the Glimmers. I typically take out these random blue spells because I think the Essence Scatters are just better. Beyond that, it's kind of interesting. I think searches are generally okay in these matches, but I basically just sideboard out almost all of our blue cards. Yeah, this is one of the harder aggro decks for us to beat. All the aggro decks are very hard for us to beat, for that matter. But yeah, we'll play first. We have plenty of white sources in the deck. This hand's very medium, and they typically bring in like duresses and things, so I don't expect this hand to be particularly good, but I also don't think I can mulligan this hand. If he wastes turn 1 duressing or whatever, maybe we can get an Essence Scatter in, though he shouldn't waste turn 1 duressing. He should just like play a random creature. Well, May take the Essence Scatter depending on whether the creature in his hand's like a Glint or whatever. Slash of Talons is kind of an interesting card because, like, I feel like it's just worse than Authority of Councils versus Mono Red, and I think they occupy the same slot in the sideboard. This deck's also a 4 Dread Wanderer, 4 Scrapheap Scrounger deck. Certainly don't want that. But yeah, we need more interaction. With six Wrath of Gods, though, you generally think you have enough. I'm not going to cycle this cast out. I'm probably just going to Binding to Glint. Well, I guess it depends on what he plays this turn. I'm certainly not going to Binding it if he plays another. Alright, well, we're not going to get rid of the cast out. Alright, maybe we'll get rid of that one in a second, but we're going to go ahead and get the Glint now. We'll try the Binding to Scrapheap instead, because Binding to Scrapheap stops them from coming back and things, I believe. Oh no, it doesn't even stop them from coming back, does it? Wow. Could just gain 2 life here, but... See if he wants to attack with both. He'll probably just attack with one. I'm pretty fine casting Settle. He knows we have the Settle to Wreckage already, so it's very likely that he's just going to attack with one. And if he just attacks with one, we get to blink his entire attack step while still keeping the Settle to do similar next turn. Harsh Scrutiny. Yep, that's a whiff. Well, I don't want to take any damage at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this while he's still tied up on mana. I'm not going to play this. I'm not really worried about giving him his mana. Everything in his deck's between 1 and 2 mana anyway. Sometimes they have 3s, or sorry, 1, 2, and 3. They have Effort Spear Harvesters. Sometimes they have Bone Pickers, but like, it's not real common. And the more things they throw out on the board's kind of better for us, since we're like drawing the Wrath of Gods anyway. Well, Fumigates, I guess. Like, we need to save at least 1 or 2 of these enchantments in case they ever do draw a real artifact. But I'm not worried about him getting a 4th and 5th mana, or even a 3rd mana for that matter, when we had the Bindings in hand. Down to 3 cards. He doesn't know about the second Settle to Wreckage, which is nice. So he didn't have any 1-drops, and this game went a lot better for us, but we're still not out of the woods, unfortunately. Like, we have to find a way to end the game. Our Scrutiny... Yeah, he's out of creatures. So now's our time to shine, friends. Hey, it's a cat. Meow meow. You were right to play Harsh Scrutinies, friend. So he's got these Deadlands in play, so this isn't going to end the game, but it does take a lot of his mana and a lot of his focus. Okay, I guess it is going to end the game. Alright, so all all he showed us was some discard spells. He didn't really show us anything different, so I'm pretty sure we're going to leave the deck as is. Just don't think any of these blue spells are particularly good enough. We just have to hope to draw some Wraths and not have them discarded. I don't know if you guys could hear my other monitor. I apologize if you could. Somebody sent me something that I was trying to check out. So this hand's really good. Actually can gain quite a bit of life off of these authorities. It's really good for the scrap heaps and stuff coming back. We have a Effort Meltdown for the first real threat. We have an Essence Scatter. We basically need to dodge Glint. We did not dodge Glint. And dodging a discard spell is probably similar. To be honest, my stomach's hurting pretty bad right now. Duress. I guess I'll let him have whatever he wants. Kinda really want to kill this, but I feel like I need to prevent the damage as well. And if we have to use another spell to kill it later, that's fine. I just want to prevent as much damage as we can early and try to get to our powerful spells. I have to draw something. We'll Essence Scatter anything he plays. That can be Essence Scattered, of course. Matches like this are kind of one reason that I levitate the saying to the Drakehaven decks better. I don't think Drakehaven really loses to decks like this, whereas Approach can often lose to a deck like this. Wait, what? Why did they tap a random land during their upkeep? Don't know why opponent tapped a random land during their upkeep to confuse me. Is he trying to make me F6 my turn or something? That's just awkward. Still has 4 cards in his hand. They're not all lands, so... Could be waiting till this turn to Harsh Scrutiny to try to increase his odds of getting a Regal Caracal. And to give us a card, a chance to draw a card or whatever. I don't mind where we're at in this game. I guess they could have a million lands. That's something that could happen. Bottom. Oh, another land. Well, this is going poorly now. I was really hoping we'd get something between our draw step and that. So now they get another additional card. They're actually the same depth in their deck as we are, yet they played first. to draw a card again next turn too because they got the Effer Hub. Yeah, you can do it, deck. Red Rover, Fumigate. That's not a Fumigate. Wow. Kind of got an interesting choice now. Because we're on a 2-turn clock, but he's drawing a million cards of this. Pretty sure I'm just going to Excellence Binding that thing. He gives us an entire extra turn on our clock. It lets us not die to Unnatural Stamina or whatever it's called as well. The thing that gives +2/+0. Like there's some chance that we could just untap and Fumigate. I should have definitely played a Rivulet, by the way. He knows we have the Rivulet in our hand, so I should have played it. Playing the land that he hasn't saw. It's just bad. I have to read that card. I'm not actually sure what that card is. I sewed some the other day, and I still didn't read it. I legitimately have no idea what that card is. Yeah, well, whatever this is, I would Essence Scatter it. Of course, I'm sure he knows that. Yep. Again, like, it kills us next turn, so... I guess it doesn't kill us. Maybe we could have let that one resolve to counterspell like a Scrap Heap Scrounger or something. He's gotta play another creature if he wants to kill us next turn. Alright, so we are officially dead next turn unless we draw something this turn. One time Fumigate. Can we do it, deck? That's a redraw. We could cast out this thing. And get an extra turn. Which I think gives us some more chances to win. While also stopping that from being a problem if we do draw a Fumigate. I don't want to just cycle, because if we cycle and hit like a Approach of the Second Sons, we die. If we cycle, we have to hit Fumigate or Settle, or like another cast out type effect. And if we hit Settle, he even has a chance to draw Duress. So I think it's better to take the turn like this and just hope he doesn't have the Unnatural Stamina, which he very well could. He's not attacking with Glint this time, which is kind of odd. Huh. It's kind of an interesting card. What's this mana cost? So we have to hope he doesn't have it here. Could easily have it. Yep, looks like he has it, so we're just dead. Huh. I think that was the better play, though. Yeah. Seemed like it was the better play. It gave us a chance to draw that next turn, providing he didn't kill us. So we actually gave ourselves the best chance to win the game. It just so happened that he did have an unnatural stamina, which he didn't have to have. Oh wow, the match started immediately before I could even pop up the deck list. Remember, if you like what you're seeing, we stream every day, and you can follow the links below to find a Twitter and a YouTube channel. So we're 1-1 playing versus another 1-3. Oh, Kosher got the 4-1 off of us. We'll certainly keep this hand. It's pretty reasonable. Could be another hyper aggro deck, which is what I consider our worst matches. And it looks like it is. We do have the Fumigate already, so all we gotta do is find lands this game and maybe we'll be good enough. Be nice to win the Man, I've tried a board that had 4 authorities, 4 Caracols, and 3 Sunscourge champions, and I still wasn't winning more than 50-50 versus them. It's just not something I've been able to figure out formula-wise. Certainly to the bottom, we'll be sideboarding it out anyway. Well, now the goal is to survive till 5 mana. Which is easier said than done, though with the disallow, I'd say there's a good chance we get there. Though, I mean, with the thing he has in play, he can deal quite a bit of damage just without adding anything else. Well, I mean, I played a build that had the 11 cards. I had 4 authorities, 3 champions, and 4 Caracols. And I was still losing to them. But no, I'd agree with you. It is a better card. It's worse versus mono red, though, especially if Rampaging Ferocitodon are coming about. I win very few games versus mono red that I don't have exactly a... am I trying to say exactly an authority on turn 1? Hey, Waxwayne, thank you, by the way, for the follow. We'll go ahead and counterspell this as well. I'll take a minimum of 4 damage here, and a minimum of 4 damage next turn. Nope, apparently a minimum of 6 damage next turn. If he draws double and natural, we're just dead. If he draws a strong equipment, we're hurting. Just deciding... oh, that's a strong equipment. Oh wait, well, that was great for us that he played that. Alright, so whatever this is definitely going to the graveyard unless it's a land. So we won't put that in the graveyard, we'll just draw it. For Cabal, huh. Never thought about trying Cabal. I played some Modern the other day, and Cabal was so good versus me. Man, it wrecked me every game. Pretty sure I'm just going to go ahead and raft that away, too. I don't really want to take 2 damage here. I certainly don't want to take 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I put this in the graveyard this turn, I'm just going to keep it. Let's settle whichever one he attacks with. I'll probably use the Field of Runes as well. Because if I use the Field of Runes, it means I can flip the Search for Azcanta next turn if I put a random card in my graveyard. George had a Sanguine Sacrament deck that he liked a lot. So we can flip this 100% for our 7th land. And it's probably fairly trivial after that, based on the amount of turns he'll have left. So he's going to kill us in 2 attacks, and if for some reason he could flood the board enough that I felt like we could die in 2 attacks, we could always just fumigate the following turn. If he plays nothing, we don't have to worry about that. So the most damage he could ever attack for this next turn's 8, so we just pass and then untap and win. Ugh. Yeah, I was testing Burn in Modern. Ephro had talked so well about it that I thought I had to try it. And multiple of my opponents had Camball, and I was really sad. Doesn't matter what card I get. We know that the approach is 2 cards down, and the farmlands would have got it anyway. Oh, well, apparently all the approaches in our entire deck are 2 cards down. Alright, well, we got game 1 here. I think we're going to sideboard again the same way we did. I'm going to bring in basically my entire sideboard for our slower blue cards. Wanting to take out the Glimmers here. Wanting to take out the slower, these slower blue cards because we're bringing in like an Essence Scatter. So I think that's better than the Disallows and things. We're just bringing in all the white cards into Gear Hulk. Maybe I should keep Search. I might try Searches on the play. I'm not exactly sure. Might try them on the play. I've not liked them in these matches, but like I noticed that the Corey Burkhart sideboard plan and the PV sideboard plan for the Drake deck doesn't bring out the approaches in the red match. So like maybe I'm just way overrating how badly I think I need to cast one of our spells on turn 2. Alright, well, we're definitely going to keep this card, or hand. We're not super excited about it. I think Op's a pretty weak card too, but I think it's better than the random 3 counter, or the 3 mana counter spells. I just don't think we have time to cast the 3 mana counter spells very often. And the opt is mainly only in the deck to smooth out lands, and this is like one of the matches that I need to make sure my lands are smooth the most in. Yeah, I considered cutting a Gideon. I've been as high as 3, and like I feel like we slowly cut one almost every time we play. We're down to 2 right now, and it's not been very impressive to me. Like I don't think Gideon will stay in the list. Probably not past today. That's kind of interesting. So I guess I'm going to at least throw it on this, and let him take one of our random opt and/or sensors. So probably an opt. The Gideon's decent versus mono red though. Like that's the only match that Gideon really shines versus. Like mono red, it can prevent so much damage when it comes down. Like, it's always going to die, but it's always going to be like a fog for at least 5 points of damage, which is huge. I think he pretty much has to take Opt, but I could be wrong. Well, did not take Opt. That surprises me. It's down to 2 cards already. Yeah, like, they're never going to stay in play forever. I used to love them versus the Long Tusk Cub decks because you could just bring it down and deal with a Long Tusk Cub for multiple turns, but like, I've been testing sideboarding them out and I've kind of liked it. Could hit an Ever Meltdown. Huh. Is that card good enough to keep? Probably good enough to keep. I think our life total is high enough that we can keep that card. Opponent's just gonna slam a Heart of Cure and improve me wrong. Duck. I've never had Duck. Yep, it's just gonna slam a equipment and prove me wrong. Man, Duck sounds good. Yeah, so we at least gained a point of damage from that. I'm gonna take 6 this turn, down to 8. So, if we cast Fumigate here, we go to 12, he buys back this, we go to 13. During his following turn, he probably plays another creature and or buys back this. I think I have to cast Fumigate here. And I think I have to not be happy about it. The cat'll stop these from dealing damage when they come back, but I kind of need to get the Gifted Everborn off the table where I can't even attack with our cats. So we're going to go down to 10, possibly 11, well, at least 11. He's at least going to bring this back. Like, at the very minimum, he's going to bring this back. Huh. Now I kind of want to play Settle, but I'm just going to cast a cat. It's a little too obvious if I just leave up my mana and do nothing. Whereas if I play the cat, I can start pressuring him. Potentially, or it's just a big wall for the ground guys anyway. I tried Esper approach and I didn't have enough ways to activate my fatal pushes to Revolt to really enjoy it. Hey, thank you, Jar Jar, for the auto host. Like, I'm sure it's fine, but that's just a problem I had. So he's got a creature in his graveyard already. I guess we'll just take it. Guess I'm just going to attack with all of it. I have a cast out. Couldn't you just, if Fatal Push is just a concession to mono red, can't you just like play Slash of Talons instead, and not put the black mana in? I don't know. The mana was just such a bad problem for me when I played. So he's certainly not going to attack with everything here, I don't think. If he attacks with all three, we're kind of going to dance. Oh wow, he attacked with all three. Opponent's hand must be really bad. Opponent's hand has to be really bad for him to do that. What did they just do? Why did they tap a land? Oh, they didn't tap a land. That was just their lands coming into play. Ha ha, I'm dumb. Gonti's one of my favorite cards that doesn't get played in the whole format. Ah, 2-1. Well, we got revenge over the mono black deck, but our opponent had a much worse draw. Yeah, I'm not sure I like Gideon. I'm not sure I like the Supreme Will either. I'm thinking about just going to a 4th Disallow. For the Gideon, I'm thinking about going for an Impeccable Timing or an Effort Meltdown. Effort Meltdown in a blanket's better because you can hit Glory Bringers and it's a little bit better versus Lone Tusk Cubs and stuff. But the Impeccable Timing can get Rampaging Ferostodons, and that's one of the things I'm very, very afraid of. Also consider just going to the 4th Opt or like the 3rd Essence Scatter in the main deck. Like, I'm slowly becoming more of a control deck than I want to be. Still just really don't know how to beat red decks. Everything I tried loses to the red decks. Maybe I have to have Fatal Push to beat the red decks. I'm not sure. The Torrential Gearhulks have actually been unimpressive as well. Because I don't like them in the deck versus any deck that has Scarab God, and like so many of the Temur decks have Scarab God these days. Because the fact of the matter is, if they like kill a Gearhulk and then resolve a Scarab God for even a turn, you typically just lose on the spot. But I love it versus the ones that don't have Scarab, and versus like random things. So we're currently playing for a pity chest, and our hand is again pretty abysmal, but I'm going to keep it. We're on the draw with an opt, or with an opt. So I think the ability to find a white mana is pretty okay, and we don't necessarily have to have the white mana. It depends on what we're playing versus. So they kept and put on top. And it's a red deck, so we probably just lose. Especially if our current hand... Oh, and he started with a Beaumont Courier. The odds of us winning this game are practically none. It's just like comical how easily they beat us. He did mulligan though. Fortunately, the Beaumont like basically fixes the mulligan at the spot. Oh, and that thing. Maybe we could have won if we were on to play. We were not on the play though, so go ahead and play this. I think the hand's a keep though, cause like it's only really bad versus mono red. Like this hand's not even that bad versus like the black aggro decks. It's obviously not good versus black aggro decks, but like it's not that bad. This hand's total trash. Maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe it's all like 3 casting cost spells and he doesn't have a land. Have to pretty much counterspell anything he plays. Hey, Dong Diggity. Can you actually, is the new mic okay? Does it sound terrible? I hope it's not that bad. So we're in a spot where I probably need to cast out the Beaumont Courier next turn. And like try to fumigate the turn after that. That just doesn't seem to me like a game we're likely to win. Trial of Ambition. I'm not sure what that is. And he's going to shock me. So a lightning strike kills us? So we're Dobbs to a lightning strike. Double shock was pretty nice. We're also Dobbs to like land crasher. Can't let him have those 4 cards though. We're not going to beat those 4 cards regardless. I mean, I know it's the Black Trial. I don't know what it does. I didn't really draft that set. So we basically have to fade a lightning strike here to even have a chance. We need to hit a land. Alright, come on, land. You are not a land. Well, that's bad. And now we have to give him a land, which is also bad. Giving him 2 lands, in fact. That's, again, not a land. I don't know if our opponent knows this, but we need a land to have any chance of winning. Yeah, well, could potentially cast Settle again. Alright, deck. Don't let us down, deck. Everybody chant, land, land, land. It is in fact a land. Bet he draws a lightning strike before we cast the approach. Feel like opponent just drew lightning strike. In fact, I would almost wager on it. Yeah, well, that's an easy one to try to counterspell. Rampaging Ferostodon. He's only got 1 card left in his hand. So we could counterspell this. And have an Effer Meltdown for whatever he draws next. Or we could just let it resolve and play Fumigate and be insulated versus a... versus a lightning strike, but we still just die either way to like a Chandra and or a... We die either way to Chandra, we die either way to Hazoret, so I think I'm just going to lightning strike it. Or sorry, I think I'm just going to fumigate it. Because I really need to hit our land, and if our top card wasn't a land, we're pretty screwed. I'm happy with this play. Turns out our top card was a land, so not sure how much that mattered. But if it was a Chandra or a Hazoret, we're going to die anyway. Especially a Hazoret. It was neither of those things. Land? Land. Hey. Alright, more insulation. That's a good one, but we do have an Effort Meltdown for that one. Don't want to cast Fumigate on that. The Sensor was actually a great draw. I mean, we couldn't beat Hazoret either way. We can in fact beat Hazoret now. So we'll melt down here. So if our top card of our library is an untapped land, we win. Or not the top card, the card that we censor into, of course. Because we're going to Rivulet ourselves for 4, so we know we're drawing approach. Yes. We know we're drawing approach here, so all we gotta have to do is hit a land. We did not hit a land. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so Hazoret doesn't kill us because we can Supreme Will if it's a Hazoret, and then he can't use the activation. Hazoret plus Shock would kill us. Double Lightning Strike kills us. He's not had a Lightning Strike up to this point though, so he probably doesn't have one. Untap land? And the top 5 cards, please? So basically just no double Lightning Strike. Nice. That was a hard game. Opponent definitely whiffed off there quite a bit. I did not expect to win that game, especially how that game was going. Alright, so anyway, versus them, I definitely like all of the white cards in our sideboard. And I like the Essence Gather more than I like some of our other counter spells. My buddy Ricky swears that we're supposed to take out some Censors in this match. And maybe we do on the draw. But I certainly like them on the play, and I'm not confident that I like taking them out on the draw either. For the most part, I really like the... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really like the Censors. Cards that I personally dislike in this match, I dislike Ascanta, and I very much dislike Ascanta on the draw. One moment. Sorry, I got distracted by something. Anyway, so let's move these here. So I don't actually like Gearhulk in this deck, especially on the draw. I generally always cut some number of Glimmers. I like cutting all of the searches. I feel like I can cut Ops, but I think Ops better than Glimmer because it fixes your mana early. So this is personally what I like to cut. But my buddy swears that we cut Censor, and he claims this is a good match for him. But he only cuts 2 Glimmers. He cuts all 3 ops. And he doesn't cut the searches either. But this is what I like to do. I think the ops are better than the Glimmers, because like generally games that you're able to cast the Glimmers are games you're winning anyway. And I think that the ops can help you smooth out your mana in the early turns, and I think that's just much more important than drawing 2 cards or like scrying 2 and drawing 2 later. Just not missing your land drops is one of the bigger things here, because you pretty much always have to cast a Settle on 4. You have to not die to... we'll keep this hand, it's not great, but he's already mulliganed. You have to not die to Chandra too, which is a pretty big thing. I like Gearhulk a little bit more on the play than I do to draw, but it typically just dies to a Braid. Like, I don't think people sideboard out of Braids in this match. I don't sideboard out of Braids in this match. So I assume other people don't as well. This is the second time he's had turn 1 Beaumont, which is sad for us. It's one of the harder things for us to beat. In fact, I consider this the best card in his deck. I think it's better than Hazoret or Chandra versus us. There's a good chance that we're going to have to cast a Meltdown this turn, but maybe we'll get to scatter something, who knows. I'm just going to take the 3 damage and hold up the scatter. I think it's better to try to get the Rampaging Ferostodon than to just prevent 2 damage. Yep, looks like that could have been a misplay. Not a misplay. Feel pretty good about what happened now. Huh. It's kind of interesting. I really feel like he's going to pop this next turn, probably. I think I'm fine just passing. He's going to take another 3 damage and probably be very sad in a second. Whatever he plays probably needs to be counterspelled. Well, that's unfortunate. Do think it worked out well for us again, but not happy with the result regardless. Alright, I guess I have to cast this one now. Our life's getting a little bit too low. If he has a land Hazoret or something, like, it's obviously horrible. Wonder what opponent sideboarded out to have shocks in his deck still. I definitely don't have room for him when I sideboard with mono red. Red Rover, no lightning strike, please. Chuck E. Cheese, please, no lightning strike, Reno. Well, he discarded a Hazoret. That's insane. And he had the lightning strike. Probably not winning this game then. And another creature. Maybe we should have cast a Gideon one turn earlier. Then he'd had the Carl Zevin play, though. He may not have anything. He did flood last game. I guess he could flood again. That Gideon definitely prevented 4 points of damage, though. Ooh. That's a cute one. Gives us a little insulation from things. It gives us like a turn or two to draw something. Maybe. If we just untap and draw Regal Caracol, that would be probably enough. Depending on what's in his hand. Alright, well, we have to counterspell that as well. Oh wow, and he's got another. What do we got here? Random land that does nothing. So opponent can deal 5 damage to us this turn. We can still draw approach. Could draw a Fumigate as well. Or we could just die. I guess we're not dead. There's very few things that he could draw and not kill us, though. He's only got 4 damage in play, though, so I mean, there's some chance that he just draws like a land or whatever. Like, it's reasonable that he just draws basic mountain. Or he could draw like a Soulscar Mage. That wouldn't be good here. I mean, obviously the odds are we're dead. Alright, not dead yet. Alright. You can do it, Dick. Fumigate or something. Regal Caracol. Well, what? I guess that's technically still alive, right? Is this technically still alive? He could still brick here. Oh, he did brick here. Nice. Well, that's pretty good for us then. Still alive. Being still alive is better than being dead. I have to try to figure out what our best blocks is. Scavenging Grounds is another reason that I don't really love Torrential Gearhulk. By the time you're casting Torrential Gearhulk, they usually have mana left over, and most of these people are playing multiple Scavenger Grounds. So I think he needs to attack, because if we just draw another cat, he loses. He pretty much loses on the spot if we draw another cat. This is one of those games that Glimmer would probably be better than Opt, so. Attacking with that card is peculiar. So if I block it here, I take no damage, and he just brings back a 4/4. But it being a 4/4 doesn't really change anything for us, I don't think. And we're going to be attacking him regardless. Don't want to just... I could just block it with both cats, but that seems kind of bad. I do gain 4 life if I block it with both cats, but I lose one of the cats. So I go to 6 life if I block it. Double block it. We need to gain the life, and I don't really want to attack, so maybe it's better to double block it. I think I'm going to double block it. I think he's going to buy it back this turn, so I don't think that's going to matter at all. So if I double block here and I go up to 6, and say he plays nothing this turn, next turn plays that, gets rid of that, he would only have 3 attackers. So we certainly wouldn't be dead, because we'd have a blocker. If he gets the 4/4 back and has 4 attackers on the following turn, like we can double block this again, go to 8, and then we take 1, 2, 3, 4 plus something. Oh no, we couldn't double block that because yeah, we could double block that. I'm going to double block. I want to gain the life. There's some chance that we draw like Fumigate and want to cast it as well. But he didn't buy it back that turn. That's so awkward. Why would you not buy it back? I guess I attack? So this doesn't get to block next turn, I just get to eat something? And I get to gain a life? It's just awkward. And that gave us a chance to draw Fumigates and Settles as well. While now we have 6 life. I assume he has to buy back the 4/4. I don't know why he didn't do it last turn. Him doing it last turn seems so much better than him doing it this turn. So he can't even attack if he does that one? You know, he gets 1 point of damage and we get to kill a creature. Triple blocking and double blocking was the same thing. This doesn't have life link, so I gain a life up to 8 and I'm going to lose 3 and I'm going to block this. This just doesn't seem good for him. Opponent's made some plays that I don't understand. I guess I could have triple blocked it and gave him a chance to order it wrong. Right, can we just draw an authority, please? Or, sorry, an approach, please? Nope. We're going to draw another rivulet. We've drawn 10 land out of our 20 cards so far. That's pretty uninspiring. Beaumont, so we gain a life. It does nothing this turn. If he attacks with everything, I'm going to double block the Kenra. He has a removal spell. I'm not going to be happy. So I go up to 7, then back to 4. I'm still going to double block. If he's got a removal spell, I lose them both, but if he's got a removal spell, we're drawing pretty thin anyway. Maybe I should have double blocked this guy instead. JK. What did he do? Oh, he threw a lightning strike at our head. Sometimes those turns go so fast that we don't see it, especially since like the card was scrolled down. Harsh Mentor is not very great versus us, and we go up to 4 life, and it's kind of hard for him to attack now. Activated ability of artifact, creature, or land on the battlefield. So this is not on the battlefield. And I don't... Is cycling an activated ability? No idea. Alright. Well, looks like we're F6ing again. This game's crazy. So he doesn't get to attack yet again? Another authority. Can we attack now? I almost feel like we can attack with the cats now. So if we attack with both the cats, he just chump blocks with the Kenra. So I guess we can attack with the cats. Man, opponent and me are drawing every land in our deck. So that was a shock. Alright, I guess... Is it right for me to finally attack? I think attacking's okay here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the amount of damage that he can muster at best. Guess the cat doesn't block no matter what. He's probably going to double block with the Beaumont and the Harsh Mentor, so I'd be getting both of those off the table. Just going to attack with them all, I think. Because I'm pretty happy fumigating here, I believe. You could double block this with like this and this. I don't think I'm going to board wipe yet because he can still just bring a 4/4 back. I think I have a turn that I can board wipe. Because he only gets to deal 1 damage to us back. So he can only deal 1 damage this turn. I don't think I care about board wiping if he's only dealing 1 damage. I got 2 damage with the Sun Scourge. But we gain 2 life with the authorities, so we're not taking 3 damage here, we're only taking 1. Alright. I guess I'll board wipe now. I have to cast out for insurance if things go really bad. I have no idea. I was making that attack hoping that he would. Like, I really wanted him to buy that back so I could fumigate it off the board. Alright, well that's a problem. That one is a problem. Alright, we'll cycle one of these at least. Sure. I guess I can cycle both of them. Nothing can attack us next turn anyway. Yeah. We're 31 cards deep and we've not found an approach yet. Wait, why would I do what now? Because he could kill me on the following turn if he'd hit a lightning strike. I didn't want to die to a lightning strike. I guess we'll take this one. Yeah, I know Chandra's a thing, but if we give him an infinite amount of turns, he's going to beat us anyway. Like, he's at a point now where one shot kills us. I don't think we have 1,000. We don't have a lot of turns. We just have to... Wow, he did not throw damage to us with the rampaging runes at the end of his turn. Why did he not do 2 damage to us? If he'd done 2 damage to us, shock was lethal. You can do it, Dick. Alright. Whew. Scary times were happening this game. Can't really attack. Pretty sure we just win now. Feel like he's going to attack with the Hazret. Just gonna settle it. I don't see us losing at this point. Hitting that approach was great because he didn't have to attack with Hazret. He could just use it to throw extra damage at us. But now we're back to 18 life. And he's only got 2 attack steps left, and we already have another settle for the next attack step. I'm pretty sure opponent could have beat us this game if he made different decisions. With just how the cards fell, I think our opponent would have beat us making different decisions. So opponent gets 1 more attack step at best. Alright. He doesn't even want it. And we can't see what our top card was. Alright. Well, I guess we were technically milling 4 cards, so that wasn't our top card. And this was our top card. Alright, so he would have got 1 more attack step. Alright, well, we at least have acquired a pity chest, and we're playing for the 4-1. I think I played that game okay. Maybe I should have fumigated the turn before I did. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we've at least acquired a pity chest, and we beat him on a red deck, somehow. I think I'll be posting my blue-white Drakehaven deck after this round, as well, to the magic wonderland of the YouTubes. By the way, for anybody who cares, I do stream every day. I stream probably 95% of my streams are standard. We play a large variety of decks, which means we don't play any deck masterfully, but we try to keep everybody entertained. If you look below the stream here, there's a link to my Twitter where you can see every time I go live, except I didn't post today because I'm stupid. I forgot to post that I went live today. Wow, I'm such an idiot. And you can also see a link to my YouTube channel where we post almost all of our past streams. And if you're already watching from the YouTube channel, keep in mind that in the description of every video is a link to the Twitter, this Twitch channel, and the deck list that we're playing that day. I can't believe I forgot to post today. Guess it's too late to do it now. We're 1 match away from being done. Anyway, keeping this hand, not a big fan of the Gear Hulk and the approach in our opening hand, but there's 0 chance that I'm ever mulliganing a turn 2 search in this deck on the play versus a blind opponent. That's how much I rate this card. This hand could literally have been 6 mana and turn 2 search, and I would have kept it. Because I think search is that good versus blind opponents. Obviously, search is bad versus some opponents. Hey, to Sparky, thank you so much, man, for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm not cool enough to have any emotes or anything because, quite frankly, I am computer illiterate. I'm almost just illiterate. I can barely speak English, as you guys can tell. No, not best card. Cast out. I'm probably going to keep that one. Probably going to need some way to kill the Lone Tusk Cub. We don't have a Wrath in our hand yet. Generally don't like cast out in this match, but let's choose the no block. He's not spending the energy. I guess we'll opt anyway just to see if we hit a meltdown. I'm actually going to keep that. I'm just willing to take my damage. It's kind of weird. He let me use the opt and then he changed his mind and used the energy. Hey, thank you, Jost42. Appreciate the follow. Alright then. We're going to hold on to the sensor because if he didn't play a 3-drop, he's probably got 4 drops. Actually, I'm going to hold on to this as well. This game's looking like a game that we're going to just get to cast all of our spells. We're going to take at least one more decent hit from this, because I'd rather hold up the Glimmer and the Sensor this turn than I would to cast out it. If he plays literal nothing this turn, I'm willing to cast out it at the end of his turn. But I don't want to let him just play a Bristling Hydra for free. Or a Chandra for free, for that matter. He did not use the energy that time. Alright. Well, if you're not casting anything, I guess we are. A sensor into the graveyard, definitely. Yep, we missed our land. That's the most common way to lose with this deck, is just missing your land drops. We do have a Search for Azcanta in play though, so like we'll be able to get that land back at some point. It's another Cub. That one doesn't get past Meltdown without some help. So pretty much putting anything in the bottom of our library that's not lands and or Wraths here. So bottom, top, nice, 2 lands. And damn near every card in our deck's going to our graveyard at this point. Well, not that one. Nope. This is one of those spots that makes Gideon seem good. When your opponent has a terrible draw, and you get to do things with your Gideon. So the only card I'm super afraid of at this point is Chandra. Though even Chandra wouldn't be that great here. It would certainly be good, but it wouldn't be that great. I feel like we could have probably raced to Chandra in most cases. Island in the graveyard, certainly. That puts 5 cards in our graveyard. So he has to attack that Bristling Hydra. He's going to have a removal spell in his hand. That's pretty guaranteed. So like this Gearhulk's probably going to die this turn, but we are going to get to cast a Glimmer. We don't care what he resolves. So this Gearhulk surviving is very, very low chance. Don't want either of these. There's a settle if things did start going bad, or for the turn after we play this approach. So opponent attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 next turn. So it's only 2 more than what we're discarding. A Fumigate. Nah, we don't need a Fumigate. I'm not going to flip to search, because we already have our 7 mana for our approach anyway. So we get to put 1 extra card in our graveyard this way. And if he has main deck counter spells, we're going to have problems. But, you know. Hey, X Biggins, thank you as well for following. Sorry I missed you a second ago. I guess I got slapped with 2 follows at the same time. Hey JJ, Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you and your family are doing great. Hope you're having a lovely little day. So whatever this is probably going to go to the graveyard. We're definitely flipping this. So with that in mind, we know next turn we get to draw our thing. So if he's got a counterspell, we actually die if we just play this. Is that right? 5, 8, 9, 10, 14. So I think it's better to actually just wait a turn and play double Settle to Wreckage, because some of these decks do play counterspells. There's no reason to take a risk, even though it's pretty darn safe. But there's no reason to take that risk. It's just too easy for us to cast Settle and just know we're going to win and draw our second approach, so that we know they have to have at least 2 counterspells. Alright. So you can pretty well concede at this point, I guess, unless he's got multiple counterspells, which if he had multiple counterspells, he would have just cast 1 under approach. Let's go ahead and use the Search for Ascanthus so I can press F6. It is nice to see the swamp out of his deck too, because that affects how we sideboard. He only had 1 mana left over. I guess I could have not slow rolled and just not bothered with this. But yeah, seeing that swamp affects how we sideboard. So like now we don't want the Gearhulks, where if he was just straight Temur, I did want the Gearhulks. So sideboarding versus Temur is kind of weird. Like, I typically like all of these cards, but like I really don't like them when they're showing us a bunch of Scarab Gods and things. So that means I pretty much have to dump that and then start bringing in these type of cards. We definitely want at least this and potentially the negates as well. Now our buddy Ricky, who's the one that kind of has us playing this build of the deck, he's got a few sideboarding, not options, I don't know how to say the word, a few sideboarding opinions that I don't necessarily agree with. And I keep mentioning that, like, I know you guys don't know who Ricky is, and I know you guys don't care, but like we're basically playing his deck, so like I like to try to make the mention of like how he sideboards differently than we do, because what I'm doing may not necessarily be right, and if you were to choose to play this deck, you might want to listen to the guy that has a little more experience, which is why I keep repeating that. I know it's probably boring to listen to you guys say, hear me say over and over, and I apologize for it. But for example, like he brings in a Gearhulk, and I'll just never bring in a Gearhulk versus a Scarab God. It's just something I will not do. I used to like Gideon in this match, but I'm starting to sour on Gideon even being in the deck in general. I also think since we're bringing in the 4th Disallowed that the Supreme Will can go. And I generally like to shave some ops because I think Glimmers are fine, but like Glimmers are cards that you can cut in this match if you want to. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to cut in this match. Like I don't really want to get rid of the Meltdowns. Maybe we can shave 1 Censor since we brought in a 3rd Essence Scatter. Maybe we don't want the full 3 negates. Maybe we just want 2, but like I'm pretty afraid of the things he can do. Maybe we can cut 1 Search for Ascanta. I'm not really sure. Pretty sure that I'm just going to cut the 2 ops. The ops are really nice here though. I'm just going to cut the 2 ops. Don't know if anybody has more experience with this matchup and has any ideas. You can let me know how you would do it. I really like the negates versus the black versions though, because you have to worry about Vraska. We're definitely keeping again Search for Ascanta, and we have an Effort Meltdown for turn 2 Long Tusk Cub, which is a pretty common way that you can potentially lose. But double settled a wreckage too. But anyway, like I say, they have Chandras, they have Veraskas, and they have like a bunch of counter spells. So like it's really hard for me to not want all of the ways to stop the spells in general. Well, they used a negate on that right off, so that means they probably have a Planeswalker heavy hand if they're doing that. Feel like they probably have a Planeswalker heavy hand. Kind of want to force search into deck even, but that's probably wrong. Gonna take the damage here and very likely gonna use a meltdown on him, but don't want to hold myself to the meltdown thing yet. We get a lot of extra turns if we use a meltdown though. Okay, 100% not using meltdown now. That's enough to make me want to cast Settle. And I can get the Settle into turn before the Vraska still, which is nice. He left that in the graveyard, which is kind of odd as well. So I think we basically have to just not die to Chandra now. Well, that's really nice to know. Right off the bat, don't have to worry about Chandra. Yeah, still gonna settle him. Don't want to take 4 damage. Actually, I guess I'll see whether he's eating his finger or not. Alright, he did eat it, so I guess I guess that makes it even easier to do this. That's kind of interesting too. So there's a Bristling Hydra, and he's down to 2 cards. What really sucks is when we cast this Settle to try to steal this card, like, he just gets to win. Or not get to win, but he gets to easily resolve a Planeswalker is what I'm trying to say. What are we looking at here? Oh wow, that's an even better one. What are we looking at, JJ? That was terrible for us. We do have Cast Outs and Bindings in our deck, though. April 27th, 269 cards. Well, the art, is that Tamio, Karn, and Jorah? 2 cards from my hand. Kinda want to get rid of this one and then just disallow the trigger, but that's probably wrong. It's gonna be hard for us to beat that card. Could have got rid of the approach as well, because missing a land drop's so bad. I'm actually pretty excited for that set. So we basically have to get one of our 5 enchantments. And then he'll not have a Vraska. Like, so a lot of things have to go right for us at this point. Guess the land would give us some percentage of a chance. Well, there's land 1. We'll counterspell this triggered ability. If he's got any follow-up here, it's going to be real hard for us to get there. Especially considering this thing hits hard and it hits fast. So like next turn he can hit us for 1,000,000. And that was not land. So yeah, we're just dead on the spot now. Don't really have an out anymore. We'd have to run multiple runners right now. So we take 4 damage this turn, maybe. I guess he could pump this up. I have to draw like a Wrath and a Cast Out at this point. So, fumigate one time. Not a fumigate, just a land, so dead on board. I guess not necessarily dead on board. He may use the Nicobolus to make us discard or something, and then we don't technically die. Or he just plays around nothing unless he has a counterspell. Alright, so now we're definitely dead. I guess he either drew around a counterspell or played around nothing. I'm not sure which. But yeah, we're just dead. That game was going really well too. I thought we had it. Thought we could beat like Chandra, and I thought we could beat Vraska there, but we can't beat something that makes us discard 4 cards or more. Anyway, we've already brawled in all of our cast outs and bindings, so there's nothing else we can really do versus that. I think a Censor's a little bit better on the play than the draw. I'm just going to run it back. I think we lost that game when he had to negate on turn 1. It's just a good play. A lot of people wouldn't do that. Definitely still just don't want any of these creatures when he has access to Scarab. Certainly going to keep this hand. This hand's pretty good. We're obviously going to have to hit more lands, and this hand's going to be very bad versus a negate, but you can't have everything. You certainly can't mulligan this hand. Oh wow, hit F6. I'm not supposed to hit F6 because he could just cast a Long Tusk Cub. And he did cast a Long Tusk Cub. I'm actually logging after this game, Mr. Ripper. Sorry about that, bub. Also, I don't know if I feel right about taking people's money to play Magic. That's kind of... I've never did that. Maybe it's something I should do. I know Sam does it. Sam likes doing it. I like Sam's stream. But yeah, this is actually going to be my last game for tonight. I ate way too much and I'm kind of sick. I kind of want to just disallow this. I don't want him to draw the extra card. And I already know that I want to cast my Glimmer next turn. If he does resolve a Planeswalker, we still have the binding. By the way, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whichever or both that you enjoy. I've always thought the searches were kind of weird in these decks. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, I've just always thought they were kind of weird. I thought Treasure Map performed a little better for me. Yuya has 2 of them in his deck right now, though, and I mean, it's Yuya, so, I mean, Yuya. How many times can I just say it's Yuya? I kind of want both of these, because we need multiple more land drops, so I think I'm actually just going to keep them both. If we draw another land for our turn, I'll probably end up cycling this. Alright, we did not draw another land for our turn, so we're certainly just going to play it now. And, fair enough. That's why I try to... I say both. I am an invader. I've been called out. There's a Chandra. Chandras are obviously great. Hopefully this is not... Okay, sweet. It's just 2 damage. So we can binding it next turn while holding up an Essence Scatter, and then we have to pray that he doesn't have a black mana and a Vraska's Contempt or anything. But yeah, they kind of play this like weird Planeswalker control that's pretty hard for us to beat. I feel like we have a good shot if we draw a land. next turn. Like if we can just untap and slam approach. Oh, if he's got Vraska, it's so bad for us. And he does. Why would he not have Vraska? Why would he not have the best possible for him? That's a little sad. It's going to be super hard for us to win now. He still has to have a counterspell, I guess. But, we're not going to beat that very easily. I like how he put a Scarab in his graveyard. Like, that man has no fear. He knows what he wants to draw. It'd be really nice if he just untapped and played Nicobolas. Wow, he actually ticked that up for mana, so that means he's playing Nicobolas and leaving up a counterspell, or like playing a Threat and leaving up a counterspell. So he specifically did that and left up a counterspell. So we just can't win now, right? This is game 3 of round 5, and our opponent basically has played that he has a negate face up. So the last card in his hand is a negate, and we're going to lose. But we have to cast it either way. Yeah, but he definitely played around the back-to-back. So like he kind of played face up. If he has it, he has it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Alright, he did not have it, and we got the 4-1. I wonder why he made that play then. Why didn't he just get extra damage with the why didn't he just do extra damage with the Chandra then? He had the mana to hardcast it. That's just really weird. Alright, so anyway, today we beat a mono black deck, we lost to a mono black deck, we beat a Grixis control deck, an actual Grixis control, not the mid-range deck. And we got lucky and beat a mono red deck, and then we beat 4-color Temur. That 4-color Temur deck is pretty rough to beat. The deck, again, just still seems like it does pretty well. Comments from today, the Gideon actually was good in 2 games, so maybe I'll continue to play the Gideon one more time. The Supreme Will was not great. It might just become the 4th disallow. Other than that, everything seemed to do what I wanted it to do. I still feel like our aggro match is pretty poor. But, yeah. I don't see anything else that I really want to change. The disallow, maybe adding a 4th Rivulet in the deck. But I kind of dislike the Rivulets when I'm playing a bunch of double blue spells. So I'm not 100% sure about that either. Let's go try to find us somebody to host. But yeah, every now and then you just draw the back-to-back approach, and that's pretty nice. So Nassif is streaming, but he's streaming Modern. I imagine if people are watching me, they have no interest in Modern. But I hope you're all having a happy holiday or whatever, if you celebrate them or not. We're going to find somebody to host, and we're going to jump out of here. But keep in mind, guys, we do stream every single day, and there's links to both my Twitter and my YouTube down below. I'll be posting a video to my YouTube link pretty soon for the Drakehaven deck we did yesterday. And I'm just not seeing anybody really to host that plays Standard, so we're going to host Brad Carpenter. Thank you very much, Noel. I highly appreciate it. Brad Carpenter's a really good Magic player, and it looks like he's just playing... I don't want to host somebody that's playing Cube. I'm not hosting somebody that's playing Cube. I'm just going to host Gabriel Nassif. Anyway, take care, everybody, and thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Standard top things. Standard ho!